morning, everybody. This is Liz with Access. We're going to be doing a 30-minute functional strength session today. And so today you're going to need a set of dumbbells or whatever kind of weight that you have, and then something to elevate your heels with. So it could be, I'm going to use a small plate. It could be a book or a yoga block or just something, or even your mat rolled up, but just something to kind of prop your heels up. So we will get to that later, but let's do a little bit of a warm up. We're going to start with kind of a yoga inspired sort of movement flow to kind of get the blood moving. So we're going to start tall. We're going to do an inchworm out to a high plank. Take a couple seconds here, couple breaths. We're going to slowly lower down to the ground. And then push our chest up into like an up dog. Couple breaths. We're going to come up to a tabletop position. Do maybe a cat and cow while we're here. So arch your back up. And arch down. And just breathe. Come back to our plank. And shift your hips up and back into a down dog. A couple minutes to kind of pedal your legs. Get your hamstrings and that calves moving. And we'll come back to our plank. Step 1 foot forward into a lunge. Drop that knee down. Gonna rock forward. Kind of get this ankle moving a little bit, as well as your hip flexors. Kind of step your heel back. Make sure you can feel this ankle moving. 4 or 5 pumps forward. Good. So we'll reverse back out of that. Stepping back to our plank. A couple seconds here. Step your other leg forward. Drop your back knee down. Go up to that lunge. Same thing here, pushing our hips forward. Rocking through that knee, push that knee forward. Make that ankle work, keep that ankle on the ground, your heel rather. 4 or 5 pushes forward. That hip flexor moving. Good. So reversing back out of that. Come up to our plank. We're going to inchworm back in. We'll do still similar to that again. Just abridged a little bit, or I guess a little bit quicker. So to our plank. Down to the ground. Push the chest out for the up dog. Up to a tabletop. Stretch that back out. Good, up to our plank. Shifting hips back. Down dog, stretch those hamstrings and the calves. To our plank. Foot comes forward. Knee comes down. Couple rocks here. Room to breathe. Good. Reverse back up to our plank. Couple seconds here. Get those muscles working. Good. Other foot comes forward. Knee comes down. Rocking back and forth. Hopefully your hips are feeling a little bit better this time through. Good. Reverse back to our plank and walk it back in. Stand up tall. Let's just do 2 inchworms here. So walking out to our plank. Couple breaths. Walk it back in. Good to feel our hamstrings stretching out here. And one more time. And back up to the top. Good. All right, so bring it down to our mat, the ground. We're going to do seated hip cars. or controlled articular rotations. So we're going to be moving. So one leg to the side. So that shin is pointing out to the side. A little ankle so you can see a little better. What we're going to do, sitting nice and tall, core engaged. I'm going to pick that foot up and bring it straight out in front of us. And then you're going to try to reverse it. So you don't want to be shifting too much and bringing that foot around. Trying to stay as tall as possible. If you put your hand on the ground, that's fine. Picking that knee up, what comes up and back. We're going to do 10 on each side here. So pick up that foot, pull forward, put it back. Nice and controlled here. Think about pulling that knee up first, foot around, straight out to the front. Good, there's two. Keep that chest tall. Good. Sturdy for me. Go at your own pace. 4. 5. 6. And feel that hip work in here. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Got it. We're going to switch sides. We're going to do the same thing over here. Sitting nice and tall. Leg comes forward. Straight out front. 1. 2. Again, you can put that hand down to kind of support you if you'd like. I'm going to have one side that's better than the other. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. Again, trying to be as straight up as possible with your upper body. 7. Okay. 8. 9. And 10. Good. All right, so we're going to come up to our tabletop position. We're going to do some bird dogs. So we're going to do opposite hand, opposite foot. We're going to stretch out straight. Back to the center, core nice and tight. Your stomach is not lagging to the ground. We're going to do 10 on each side here. Feel those hip flexors stretch out now. After our hip cars. 1. 2. Keep everything straight. 3. Try to bring your foot and your arm way up high, just straight out. 4. Remember to breathe. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Good. All right, now that we're all kind of warmed up, body's moving, we are going to continue on into our strength session here. So we are going to do kind of a modified bench press from the ground. I'm going to have both my dumbbells. They're over on your back. We're going to leave our feet up, so we're not extended down. We're going to have our feet up on the floor, knees up. Grabbing both your weights. We're going to keep one hand up, so I'm going to start with my right hand in the air, in line with my shoulders, straight up. With that left down to the ground. and back up. So we're going to go nice and slow and controlled. We're not bouncing off the ground. Nice and slow, touch, and come back up. So we're going to do 8 on each side. Make sure that belly button is pulled down to the ground or is engaged. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. So we're going to switch arms here. Left arm sits up straight. Right arm comes down. Try to bring your elbow pretty much in line with your shoulder. So it's straight out to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. All right, so we're rolling back over. Put those down for a second. So we are going to be back in our plank position. So we're going to come up to a high plank and we're going to march with our feet. So we're just pulling our feet straight up off the ground in that plank. We're going to do 10 on each side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Take a second, shake out the arms here. If you're feeling those shoulders a little bit, we're going to do that again. Let's do superset. Lying on your back, pulling that belly button and your stomach down to the ground, keeping that back nice and flat. I'm starting with my right hand up in the air the whole time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we're going nice and slow, not bounce off the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. All right, coming back up. Got our plank marches here. So again, nice high plank. Back is nice and flat the whole time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. All right, shake those arms out. We are going to move on to our leg portion here. Move those weights aside. So this is where we're going to have something to elevate our heels. So I'm just going to use a small plate here. And what we're going to be doing, our heels are going to be up on whatever you have. Step back a bit. We're going to be doing narrow squats. So you can either hold the weight or not, it's up to you. So your heels are pretty much touching together. And we're going to be squatting down pretty much as far as we can and back up. If you need to have your feet a little bit wider apart, that's fine. But a nice narrow squat. The reason we have our heels elevated, you can get a fuller range of motion coming down. And come back up. So if you see, if I'm just flat, I can't go down nearly as far. My ankles My posterior ear chain muscles are kind of limiting me. So you really want to focus on these quads here. You get that full range of motion as we come all the way down and all the way back up. So if our heels are elevated, it shortens that chain down there. So we're going to come farther down while keeping our chest nice and high, and then straight back up. That's kind of the theory behind it. So we are going to do 10 full range squats, nice and slow. Really want you to feel them. As far as you can. Push back up. Nice and slow on the way down. 2. 3. Take some balance. 2. 4. 5. 6. And you can step your heels out a little bit if you need to. 7. Chest is nice and tall. 8. 9. And 10. You should be feeling these quads. This is really going to help your knee strength. And then opposite that, we're actually going to do side lunges. So take a step out to the side, squat down in to that hip. So here's from the side. We are going to do 5 on each side here. Again, nice and controlled and slow. Back to the center. Only go down as far as you can control. There's 1. 2. 3. 4. Good job, guys. 5. Good. All right, so we are going to do that same set again. So our heels are elevated on whatever you have. It could be a plate, it could be some sort of weight, another mat rolled up under your ankles. You only need 1.5 to 2 inches of elevation here. Could be a book even. So find your hip spot here. Down as far as you can. And straight back up. Keeping your arms pretty tight to your center of gravity. And push them forward a little bit. 3. Nice and slow down. 4. 5. A long knee pop there. 6. You can hold a weight if you'd like. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Go. Got our side lunges next. Side, lunging down, straight back up. Back to the center. 5 on each side here. There's 1. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Good. All right, so now what we're going to do, keep that point out of the way. Some balance stuff. So we are going to do some single leg. It's very important. I mean, what is walking? You're going from one foot to the other, right? So you've got to be able to be stable on each foot individually. Whether you're walking, running, walking upstairs, you'll be able to have that strength in your hips, right? Standing on one foot, I'm going to pick my left foot and hold that knee up for a couple seconds here. And then what we're going to do, we're going to try to reach our hand down without touching this leg to the ground and touch the ground in front of us. Oh, I'm going to pull behind me. One, you can bend this knee if you need to. So we're going to touch in front of us, out to the side. Move too far out to the side. Use this leg as your counterbalance. We're going to do 5 here. Pushing down the front. Try to keep that knee up the whole time. To the side. Woo. 2. 3. So you're feeling this hip working. 4. Last one here. And 5. Good. All right, shake that leg up. We're going to do the same thing. So pull that right knee up. Sorry, left. Couple seconds here. And same thing with that same hand. And touch out in front of us, back to center, touch the ground to the side. I'm going to have one side move forward. Pull behind me. Probably going to have one side that's better than the other. Touching in front, touching to the side. My other side was my stronger side. Front. Keep this hip that's down tight. That's going to help balance you. 2. Nice and slow and controlled here. 3. 4. And 5. Good. We're going to do the same thing again on the other side. Pull that right knee up. Hang on a couple seconds. Kind of find your balance. Feel this hip working. Squeeze that glute. All right, here we go. Tap it in front. Back up to the top. Tap to the side. Doesn't have to be that far. To the side. 1. 2. 3. And use that foot as kind of your counterbalance. It moves whatever opposite your hand does. 4, I think. One more here. Good. All right. Take that out. Switch your side. So hold that knee up. Couple breaths here. Find that balance. And here we go. Out in front. Side. 1. Slow and controlled as always. Oh. 2. 3. Struggling on this side. 4. And 5. Good. All right. Let's cool down a little bit. Do some stretches here. We're going to stretch out that upper spine, Your back. So laying on your side. Arm comes out in front of you. Hips are stacked, knees are stacked. Knees, shoulders. So one hand top of the other. You're gonna try to sweep this hand, staying on the ground the whole time. All the way over, so you're even with the other shoulder. And come back. So we'll do 5 on each side here. 1, nice and slow, feel that chest opening up. 2. 3. 4. 5. Good. Go ahead and switch sides. Flip around. Same thing. Shoulders are stacked, knees are stacked, hips are stacked. Top hand sweeps all the way around, trying to touch the floor the whole way. And back around. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Good. All right, come back to seating. So we're going to stretch out our hips a little bit. We're going to put one ankle over opposite knee. Kind of lean forward into that. Feel that hip working. Push that knee away from you. Good. And then you can roll back onto your back, pulling underneath this knee. Straighten that leg. Pull towards you a little bit. Feel the hamstring back here as well as your hip. Couple seconds. Relax into it. Good. Come back up to seated. Same thing on the other side. Opposite foot over opposite knee. This is my worst side. Couple seconds, push that knee away from you. Good, and then rock back. Pulling underneath that knee, straighten the leg. Pull towards you, feel that hip working. Relax into it. Good. All right, similar to what we did at the beginning. Got one foot out, one leg to the side, like we're going to do our hip first. Instead, lean back. Feel this hip flexor in here. Lean back as far as you can. If you can go all the way down to the ground. That's great. Couple seconds. All right, come back up. Nice and easy, switch sides. Same thing. You can lean forward into it a little bit. And then lean back. Good. And relax. Good. That's all I have for you guys today. Again, my name is Liz with Exos. This has been a 3-minute functional strength session. Hopefully you come back and see me again sometime. Thanks so much.